Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Vicki Gunvalson picks her RHOC Season 19 cast. I would definitely get rid of Tamra. Vicki Gunvalson is ready to pick her Season 19 cast. And not surprisingly, it doesn't include her former friend Tamra Judge. Season 18 of The Real Housewives of Orange County is almost over, with Part 1 of the 3-part reunion already out of the way. The cast had an explosive season, and by most accounts, it was a successful one with great ratings to show for it. However, it's still too early to predict what will happen next, as contracts for the upcoming season have not yet been sent out. Nonetheless, the OG of the OC knows exactly who she wants to return to and who she wants to be fired from the show. Vicki bluntly exclaimed during a recent interview that she would get rid of Tamra. The blonde beauty is not the only person on Vicki's chopping block. She also thinks Alexis Bellino and Heather Dubrow should hit the road. Vicki Gunvalson wants Tamra Judge fired from RHOC. Vicki was a guest on the Jeff Lewis show, and they discussed RHOC and who she wants back next season. "I would definitely get rid of Tamra," she exclaimed. "I think enough is enough with throwing napkins and FBI hats and going into people's junk." Vicki is pleased with newcomers Katie Janela and Jennifer Pedranti, but thinks a few others, including Emily Simpson and Gina Kirschenheiter, should be let go, and they aren't the only ones. "I don't know why Heather's doing it. Why is she on the show?" questioned Vicki. "I would probably get rid of Heather. It just doesn't make sense to me anymore." Finally, the RHOC alum added, "I would absolutely get rid of Alexis. I think she's toxic. I think she's a nightmare." Many RHOC viewers disagree with Vicki. A snippet of Vicki's interview was posted on X, but the responses are not in her favor. RHOC has had one of their best seasons in years. Why would they get rid of multiple cast members and bring Vicki back? Someone questioned. Hopefully, Bravo knows they should stick with this cast. It's working. "Love Vicki and she should come back, but OC doesn't need this babe of a cast shakeup," wrote a fan. An X-user posted, "Vicki trying to convince us we need her back. We don't. The cast is perfect as it is." Another added, "Vicki is so old and boring, no one wants her back. In fact, get a brand new cast." Vicki Gunvalson had always been the queen of the Real Housewives of Orange County, the woman who had practically defined the franchise, so when she was invited back for a cameo in Season 19, all eyes were on her, and fans couldn't help but wonder if Vicki were the one to pick the cast who would make the cut and who would be shown the door. As the sun set over the glistening coastline of Orange County, Vicki sat on her expansive patio, sipping a glass of rosé, her mind already working through the possible combinations. The fanfare surrounding her return had only intensified her thoughts. What would it take to make RHOC great again? "Let's be real," Vicki said with a wry smile, a hint of her signature sarcasm seeping into her voice. "If I were casting the show, it'd be a lot different. First, I'd definitely get rid of Tamra." Her words landed with the same punch they had when she first said them years ago. Tamra Judge, her former best friend turned foe, had made waves in the last few seasons, especially when she returned in Season 17, playing the villainous role that everyone seemed to love to hate. But for Vicki, the betrayal was still too fresh. "I know a lot of people like Tamra, but I'm not one of them," Vicki continued. "We've had a rocky relationship, and after everything that went down, I'd keep her off my cast. She's great for drama, but I'm not here for fake friends." Vicki's tone was one of fierce conviction, but there was also a tinge of sadness. For all the explosive moments they'd shared over the years, she had once genuinely considered Tamra a friend. But the layers of betrayal, manipulation, and her often over-the-top antics had left a bitter taste in Vicki's mouth. "Tamra thinks she runs the show, but she's not the OG," Vicki continued, her eyes narrowing. "I'm the one who brought this show to life. I'm the one who taught these women what it means to be a housewife. Tamra had her time, and she used it to her advantage. But if I'm casting, she's out. It's time for someone else to take center stage." Despite her bold words, Vicki knew that casting decisions weren't as simple as just picking names. She had a keen understanding of what the show needed. A mix of old blood, fresh energy, and real drama. She wasn't looking for fake storylines, she wanted authenticity, the kind of raw, messy moments that made the viewers tune in week after week. Let's see, if I had to make the picks, Vicki mused, swirling her glass of rosé. Definitely Shannon beat her. She's been a part of the show for years, and we've had our ups and downs, but she's a solid housewife. She brings the laughs, the tears, the chaos. It's all real with Shannon. Vicki's face softened as she mentioned her longtime rival turned ally. Despite their disagreements, there was mutual respect between the two women. Vicki knew that Shannon brought a level of depth and vulnerability to the show that was undeniable. I think I'd bring back Jenna Kirschenheiter and Emily Simpson too. They've both grown on me. Jenna especially has really come into her own. When she first started, I wasn't sure about her, but now, she's a fighter. She's got that underdog vibe, and I respect that. As Vicki rattled off the names of some of the existing cast members she would keep, she couldn't help but feel a little nostalgic. Despite the drama, the backstabbing, and the countless ups and downs, being a housewife was something that had become a part of her identity. It was in her blood now. But let's be real. You need someone who's going to stir the pot, Vicki said with a glint in her eye. And that's where I bring in a new face. Someone who's not afraid to speak their mind, challenge the status quo, and not take anyone's crap. Maybe a new girl who's a little younger, a little edgier, someone who can shake things up. Vicki paused, letting the idea simmer before continuing. I think I'd go with someone like that. Someone who's been in the public eye a bit, maybe a social media influencer or a businesswoman with a big personality. We need someone who isn't afraid to go toe-to-toe with the other girls, someone who won't be scared of me. Vicki let out a playful laugh. And trust me, nobody scares me, she added, flashing a smile that could rival any of the housewives' most dramatic expressions. As for the others, Vicki couldn't help but think of her own legacy on the show. She had built the foundation for RHOC with her own brand of fiery charm and unapologetic honesty. For all the drama that surrounded her, she was the one who had helped build the OG dynasty that people tuned in for year after year. There's something about a housewife who doesn't care about being liked, Vicki said, as if speaking directly to the camera. And that's why I was the perfect fit for this show. I wasn't trying to make friends. I wasn't trying to be nice. I was just living my life, and I think that's what made people connect with me. Despite all her bravado, Vicki couldn't help but recognize that the dynamics of RHOC had shifted over time. She was no longer the center of attention. She wasn't the star in the way she had once been. And maybe, just maybe, that was a sign that it was time to reinvent the show, to refresh it with new faces, new tensions, and new energy. If it were up to me, I'd have a cast that knows how to bring the heat, Vicki said, leaning back in her chair. But let's not forget who started it all. I'm still the one who made RHOC what it is, and don't forget, I'm still the only one who knows how to do it the right way. With a smirk, she raised her glass to the camera, her eyes twinkling with mischief. So if I'm casting, you know it's going to be good TV. That's just how I roll.